Testing. Okay, we're there. What I want to do is we're going to go ahead and get started. This is the budget hearing, so this is not the full commission. Um, So if anyone expects us to be full up here, we're not going to be, but you will see commissioners come in as we get ready for 4 o'clock. Some will come in earlier than others. Couple things, housekeeping things. Number one is, this is not going to impact everybody, but I did ask that everything comes to be presented to the commission in 3 buckets. Number one is you've asked for more money. What's that investment in? What's the benefit to the taxpayers? What's the benefit to the county, to employees of the county and so forth? Second thing is, what are you holding the line with? So what's your core things that you're holding on to within your business unit? And the third thing is, what are you transitioning from? Because technically you can move away from things. Government has a poor tendency that we like to keep asking for the same thing year after year after year. And then 30 years down the road, things have changed. With technology, efficiency improvements and so forth, we can move away from some of our expenditures and put them in other items within your unit. So I would ask that you look at that. We do have a pretty packed day, so we'll ask you to please be thinking about other people's time behind you. Unfortunately, we don't have a full day to sit and go through everybody's. So I will encourage you to please be to point when you do come up, and so that we can get your presentation to be able to ask you questions and move on. Our first presentation is the Humane Educational Society. And I guess, Lee, that's 10 minutes, I believe. Okay. All right. So 15 minutes, we will get, I'm sorry, 15 minutes. We will begin now.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Humane Society is asking the county for $1.25 million for fiscal 27, which is down from the $1.4 million that we received last year or this year. We've done a number of changes at the office. And as far as the 3 buckets go, I would say in the investment bucket, we've got $60,000 worth of air conditioning repairs we've got to do. We've got to get a new vehicle. We've got to get a new executive director hired. We're holding the line and actually decreasing the cost of staff and the programs that we're doing there at the shelter. And as far as it's been quite a transition year. We have increased our shelter income by about $300,000 through increasing our community spay-neuter program, and by increasing our adoption fees. We're also asking our other government partners to contribute more equitably to the running of the Humane Society and the sustainability of the Humane Society. And we've got a development director on board now, and we've had some really good success fundraising in the recent past. So with everything, with increasing our other sources of income and decreasing our costs there at the shelter, we're able to come to the commission and ask for less money than we got last year.
Okay. How's it coming with the other municipalities? Conversations kicking in.
They are not thrilled to receive the news that we're asking them to come up to the same per capita cost as we're asking the county commission. So the way we're making it equitable is we're asking everybody to pay the same per capita. And that's obviously causing them a little heartburn, but we're offering them, we're offering them sort of a couple of transition years to get up to that speed to try to ease that for them.
Okay. So your request is $1,250,000 versus $1,004,000 received last year.
Yes, sir.
So it's $150,000 yet.
$150,000 less. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Graham.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, ladies. So $300,000 you said for heating and air?
No, sir. We've increased our shelter income by about $300,000. Our heating and air costs, we've got a $50,000 repair on one unit and about $8,000 to $10,000 repair on another unit right now.
So $60,000 worth of repairs on the heating and air?
Yes, sir.
How old is your building?
It was built. We opened in whenever COVID was. What was that? 2020. We moved during COVID. So
So your building is only 5, not quite 6 years yet old,
Right.
and you're gonna spend $60,000 on heating and air that should be under warranty?
It's not, the warranty was a 1-year warranty, and these are fairly specialized units. They're 100% fresh air units. So there's only really one company in town that can work on them. They're kind of made for hospital type situations. So it's not just a 3-ton unit stuck on the roof. It's actually this very complicated system of, I mean, you would recognize it as an air conditioning unit, but it's actually much more complicated than a typical unit. So,
Okay, that's all I got. Thank you.
yes, sir.
Okay, any other commissioners? Any questions? Okay,
So we can't do 250.
these guys behind you sure could use that gap if we get it. So,
I help out as much as I can, but we've cut, I mean, we've done a really good job of raising our revenues and decreasing our costs. So we're pretty happy with our job, the job we've done.
okay, Commissioner Sharp.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. I was just going to say thank you. It looks like you guys really have tightened the screws, and that's helpful, particularly now that this has been described as an extremely tight budget year.
Yes.
I know a lot of folks are putting things on hold, and for you guys to come in and ask for less money, particularly in an environment with such high inflation, that's going to be helpful for the budget process. Thank you. Chairman, thank you.
Commissioner Highlander.
Thank you. Just briefly, thank you for paying attention to what the chairman said and following it. Thank you. And
You're welcome.
appreciate all your efforts. It's not just, it's for the animals, but it's also for the people too. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Smith, Chairman Smith.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Ken, how are you?
It's crazy how these interim positions just keep going on.
They keep
and
going on,
and
but we're
and
interviewing
on.
right now. So I hope y'all won't see me next year, I have to say.
That was going to be my question. How's the hunt coming?
It's
'Cause I-
coming. We've got some strong nibbles. So.
strong nibbles.
Yeah.
All right. Well, keep us posted on when you get the bite.
All right. Well, there.
Not that I don't want to see you anymore, but I know you don't want to see us. So,
It's nothing. Don't take it personally.
all right. Thank you, Chair.
It's making ripples for sure.
Okay, see no more lights. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Okay. Chief Adams, how do you want this next process to go? Because we got all of our emergency services. You've got, how much time you got allotted for each? 30 minutes?
I think we had 55 minutes. Was that correct for all 11 departments?
Total, it's gonna be 45 minutes. Another 5 minutes, being a little quicker.
I need to quit talking and move on. We got 3 departments that aren't here, so I guess we could just start and just work our way right
So we're
back.
going to take theirs and split it amongst the other 4.
That's up to you. I'm just here to present it, but I do have their budgets with me if you need them.
Okay.
So, but we'll go ahead and start then with stars if that's okay, and we'll just move around as they're sitting. Or do you have an order that you
Nope.
like?
No,
Okay,
that is
I'm
fine.
gonna get out of the way. Chief?
Hello, Clay Engel with Hamilton County Stars. We are asking for a little less than 11% increase from 123,467 to 136,900. It'd be a total increase of $13,433. The increases are in administrative $2,700. In fleet, it's a $5,000 increase because we've added a big boat to our system. Facilities, we're asking for a $4,400 increase because we've added a second building. Uniforms, we're asking for a $2,000 increase. We have right at 50 members as of last night. Equipment, we've combined R&R on our dive gear, swift water gear and all that into one thing, equipment. It's gone from 38.5 to 16.2 for a $22,300 increase. Our training balance is decreased $2,467 because we have our own public safety dive instructor, we have our own swiftwater instructor, and we use a lot of resources around the county for our SAR training. We've moved the additional request at the bottom of the thing. We moved that up to the equipment So that's where that classification goes. We're inexpensive and we assist all first responding agencies, law enforcement, helping to keep all residents and visitors safe. We work to get grants and donations. We're working on a new Swiftwater trailer. It'll be state of the art. Probably hopefully in service in 4 to 6 weeks. That'll be completely self-contained with heat, air, its own power. We're trying to save a little money out of our budget each year to replace vehicles as needed. We averaged 8 calls a month last year for an average of 190 hours per our 49 members for 2,287 hours. Now, I do have an addition to my budget that I sent in on our Station 2 that we're working on. We spent a lot of money moving walls, changing electrical, installing our cascade system for diving, all this, but it doesn't have heat and air. So there's a lot of things. We can't put water on the building until we get heat. I've asked for them to install a heat pump HVAC system. And because it had 4 window heaters, air conditioners, and 2 bay heaters, but that was pulled out before we got ownership of the property. I've asked for it. The county did an estimate that cost $20,899 to install a system, 5-ton unit. And they told me it cost around $20,000 for the system itself. So it'd be a $40,899 capital expense. They said they can't put it in under this year's budget because it's not a repair and replace. It's got to be a new capital expense. So our Station 2 that you gave us has no heat and air to it at all. We can't run water to it. We're using it. We've got 2 inflatable rescue boats, 2 UTVs, and a drive truck that sits in there, plus our scuba repair and cascade systems in there. So I'm asking for an extra $40,000 to put heat and air in our Station 2. And it is a county-owned building, and when we took it over, it was almost worthless. You can check with Mike Kirk, the building guy. He'll tell you, we've done a lot of work to this building, and we brought it back up. It's really a nice building. It's getting there quick. And that's all I've got to say.
Okay.
Trying to be fast for y'all. Are there any questions, sirs?
Lee, did we not have any capital expense that we could put in that building for this year that we're currently in?
Well, we have nothing budgeted for that. Of course, we've got a fund balance. So if y'all wanted to amend the fund balance, it can be done to do that, to spend those funds this year, but it's not budgeted. It'd have to come from fund balance.
I'd be curious to know from the building committee, maybe something, Commissioner Shipley, you chair that, maybe we can.
We talked the other day about this down in the first floor. I mean, what good is a building if you can't have water, heat, and air? I mean, you might as well be outside in a tent.
Well, if you wouldn't mind working with
I will.
the chief here and see what we can help get that resolved, so.
Yes.
Commissioner Graham, just comments?
Yes, please. So you already have the boats in the building?
We have 2 inflatable rescue boats. One of them is, you see a lot of these red inflatable boats. We've got actually one of those that we keep inflated. We've actually got another one we keep deflated.
But
We've also got a black Achilles, but we've also got a specialized Swiftwater rescue boat that's an inflatable. But the big boat, we keep at Harrison Bay. So we're paying like $3,000 a year to keep it there.
But the boats that you have in the building all have gasoline engines, right?
Yes, sir.
So they have foots on the bottom that go in the water and that actually use the water from the river to cool the engine, right?
Yes, sir.
So how are you keeping the foots from freezing with a
We
building with
keep the
no heat?
motors, we keep the motors trimmed all the way down. And since they're in the building, there's no wind. When they were kept outside, we'd actually wrap them with blankets. But as we found, as long as we keep them trimmed all the way down, it drains all the water out of them. And usually it doesn't get so bad that would freeze. We're hoping. It usually, for water to freeze in a motor like that, it usually takes 3-4 days of severe cold weather to do it.
Which we've had.
But that's all we can do. I mean, we've got to keep them ready to respond.
Yeah, that's that was my point altogether. I mean,
It's a worry. It scares us.
we got to figure out, I mean, even if we have to do without air, we got to figure out the heat.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Highlander?
Thanks, sir. Real briefly, Chief, tell us your work area. I mean, what areas you cover?
I'm sorry, what?
what areas you cover, you service.
Oh, we service all of Hamilton County, plus we respond through Tri-State Mutual Aid. And we've actually done some special responses way back in our history to North Carolina. And we've actually, with our Swift Water program we've got going, some of our members are deployable. And like when East Ridge responded to the floods a couple of years ago in North Carolina and Tennessee, we filled their team with 2 of our members and some of our equipment. And that's one of the big things. We have more Swift Water equipment than Chattanooga Fire Department does. And everybody that knows, if they get a situation and they need us and our equipment is available for them to use also. So we'll let them use our boats, we'll let them use our Swift Water gear as long as they're properly trained. Yes, sir.
Okay,
I
no,
knew that, but I want to make it public record. Thank you.
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Thanks,
Okay,
sir.
see more lights.
Sir,
You're done.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the past budgets and thank you for this year too.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name's Tracy Creasman. I'm with Deputy Chief at Sale Creek Volunteer Fire Department. Oh, you had to do that, didn't you? Our budget, our total budget overall is $914,500. Out of that, there is $505,000 that is capital expense, and I'll go over that real briefly. The benefit to this is to be more ready available to respond in our district, to cover our calls. We're an all hazard department. Some of the capital expense that we're looking for is to replace some aging equipment. Also, to pay off a $325,000 loan that we have for SCBA's. And the other is operational expenses. Some of the fixed is our utilities and things of that nature. As our utilities is a fixed of 80, overall facilities and fixtures is $86,500 overall. The utilities for our stations are in the $60,000 range. We run 5 stations. We cover 81 square miles of our district. And we also respond through Tri-State Mutual Aid to other areas. So in total, you know, we're looking for quite a bit of money and we understand that, but our fleet, we try to save back some money from our budget and put back to start working to replace these apparatus. But with the age of our apparatus that we have, we end up spending those monies on maintenance costs to repair and keep those vehicles ready to respond to our communities. Overall, we're looking at replacing a couple of squad trucks that are over 25 years old. They're about $130,000 a piece to get them ready to go. So that is the gist of our budget and why we're asking for that amount of money.
How much are you asking for?
Total, including the capital, is $914,500. Regular operating expenses, overall gas and everything is $409,000.
How much did you get last year?
The amount we got last year from the county was $280,000. And our total budget was somewhere in the neighborhood of about 450. And that was due to donations from the community that we send the letters out.
Okay. I'm not seeing Sale Creek in this folder. It's online.
It's on your screen.
We're probably toward the bottom.
On CERT. It wasn't. Show me. I pulled up everybody but theirs. Help me with glasses. Yeah.
What was that?
On CERT, it gives me a little bit more detail on the expense because you give us more information on it. And then this just gives us adopted last year.
Okay.
While that's what typically we look at, I've been trained to look at more. So
Understand.
that's the reason I'm asking, because I didn't see it in there. So, okay. Sheila's my eye. She helps me.
Understand.
She's a godsend. So, okay. All right. Any questions from the dais? Okay, I see no questions. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You see it in there, Sheila? I looked in the and the tabs on it, and that's where I went to. I like to look at every line that you guys sent in on your budget, so kind of gives me an idea.
You ready?
Chief?
I'm Mark Hutchins, Highway 58, Chief. So I really didn't bring any specific requests for, where the thing would go. It's all in the pamphlet or the, budget you got. It shows, actual cost of budget last year. The total that was spent last year, 1,366,681. Then it's the new requests are there. You'll see most of them, are just cost of the raise of what things go up. Where you'll see the additional cost for us is, we'd like to start a stipend program to, help during the day, have people on call there. And also, special projects, which are in station renovations. We're working out of 3 of our halls was built in the 70s. They're in very need of bringing up. We'd rather do that out of county, let the county do that, but we can't get any involvement getting the buildings renovated. So we figured we'd ask for it in the budget and, contracted ourselves there. So. What's your questions? I know you got some.
No, Sheila's amazing.
Oh, she is?
She always sets me right.
Right. So last year we, got 582.11 from Hamilton County. And you can see, like I said, if you're looking at there, our expenditures, we spent 1,366,000. So just anything to close that gap between 582 and where we're going to be, which we know will be our expenditures in the year.
So your request is 2,225,000.
That's with the station renovations. The buildings really need to be brought up to. We don't have no sleeping quarters for the firemen in them stations. I mean, there's one bunker room. The way we're running close to 3,000 calls a year now, we try to keep the halls manned, and we don't have any place to keep people at because they was built in the 70s, and volunteer fire departments in the 70s was totally different. Everybody came to the hall when the call went out. Well, when you're running 15 calls a day, that really don't serve as it needs to now. We need people living in our fire halls.
Right.
So we need to upgrade them somehow.
Okay. See no lights, no questions? Chief, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
I will ask the chiefs, if y'all would, we do have Audit's going to talk about something real quick at the end to make you guys aware of some changes coming up for the next year. So, Chris, at the end, we'll make that announcement. So, okay. Chief?
Dwayne Pitts with Tri-Community. You probably have all of our other paperwork, so I'm here to state and answer some questions that we were kind of given to justify what we're doing. Number one, what will the increase be used for? Payroll for part-time fire and medical apparatus drivers, and expenses for another station being built and becoming operational this year. Number two, what are you doing to hold the line on expenses? Well, we're purchasing used instead of new apparatus and equipment in some cases. Number three, what efficiencies are you using in your operations? Where we're utilizing volunteers instead of all paid staff. Number four, would an increase benefit the department? Well, cleaning it up, yes, most certainly it would. Number five, how is the current budget working for you? The current Hamilton County budget provides less than half of what is really needed to do the job properly. Number 6, and these are the good ones. What is the benefit to taxpayers? For us, it's added emergency medical response and ambulance ride-ins to an overburdened EMS department of Hamilton County. Another benefit is lower property insurance premiums for residents and business owners with our ISO Class 3 rating that is very expensive to maintain. Another benefit, the ability to remove crash victims from vehicles with state-of-the-art and very expensive rescue equipment and apparatus. Another benefit, the ability to put out fires so that closely built housing subdivisions do not look like Los Angeles now does after a single fire starts. Another benefit, this year, Tri-Communities Fire Academy is training new recruits from 3 fire departments in Hamilton County, 1 municipal and 2 volunteer, to state certified firefighter 1 and 2 levels. And the last benefit is the volunteer fire and rescue departments save Hamilton County residents at least $20 million to $50 million from what would be required to operate paid stations throughout the county. If you have questions, I'll be happy to answer, and I do have a couple other comments.
Okay. Commissioner Shipley stepped away. His light's on. There he is.
I was told.
Okay. Your light's on. Did you have a question? No. Okay. All right. Okay, Chief, there's no lights.
Well, I said I had another comment. Part of the benefits to Hamilton County taxpayers is the fact that we obtained a $105,000 grant to remodel one of our fire stations. That station happens to be a county-owned fire station. And we obtained the grant and did the work, and you need to come see it. It really looks nice, and it's inviting for the volunteers to be there and answer calls.
Okay. Mr. Hilton.
Not really a question, just a comment, but the station looks wonderful. It was done, like you said, with the grant money. It's improved the conditions for all the guys who spend their time there. So we appreciate that.
Well, that was an outstanding job. You guys going after that grant, and appreciate it. Thank you, Chief. See no more lights.
CJ Davis with the Hazmat team. So last year, we got 102,165 for operating. And this year we've asked for about 225,000 more. Our department is solely funded by the county. We're not a 501c3. We're funded through the EMA office. So we can't really save money or get donations or things like that. And most of our equipment has been bought over the years through grant money, Homeland Security grant money, things like that in the mid 2000s. 3 of our 4 operating main vehicles that we use for response are 2 of them's 20 years old and 1 of them's 30 years old. And those were bought with LEPC money and Homeland Security grant money back in the day. And then our air monitors were bought with grant money as well. So now it's time where we need that equipment replaced and the sustainment to keep the services that we offer the county for special events, any kind of hazmat response training. We respond with any request from any of these departments within our county, city of Chattanooga, as well as the tri-state mutual aid area. We're the predominant hazmat response team for this whole Homeland Security district. So that's why we have a a lot of equipment and resources now that was bought with all that grant money in the past, but now it's getting time to start replacing it. So I've tried to do responsible replacement options. I've asked for it the last couple of years, but now our equipment line and our vehicle line, I want to try to do this for the next 2 or 3 years and try to do it responsibly. But if we wait, another 3 years, then it's going to be $200,000 for these monitors instead of, 30 or 40,000 a year for a couple years to replace 1 or 2 at a time. The same with our trucks. So that's where the increase is as far as our operating budget goes.
Okay. See no lights, no questions from up here? No questions. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Deputy Chief Brad Tipton with Chattanooga Hamilton County Rescue. For the fiscal year, our request for general operating cost will be $127,000, with a capital request of $121,000. Most of our general operating costs is going towards insurance, professional fees, our fleet maintenance and repair. We have building maintenance, which has increased this year because we now are starting to station some of our members there to better be able to supply response to our mutual aid partners for rehab. We have $22,000 put aside for PPE and uniforms and also the supplies for our rehab unit. Our cost on PPE has gone up because we are attempting to align better with our fire partners in mutual aid to try to better meet their needs under NFPA 10.006 or 1000.006. Our training cost has also, we are asking for an increase on that as well. Our training cost has an increase because we are trying to meet these NFPA requirements of our fire partners. We are also a Mountain Rescue Association accredited member, which also has increased our training costs and our requirement there to keep our folks up to speed on those training requirements. For the increase to the, for our benefit, if any increase for our benefit, it would be to close the gap between what we are allocated by the county and what our general operating expense is. And so we attempt to close that gap annually through fall fundraisers, solicitations on social media, and we also do race standbys here in Hamilton County, providing both medical and technical rescue services. The increase in department funds would also help us to buy new rehab trucks. That's what we've been working towards. Currently, we've repurposed a light duty vehicle for that, and while it's working for us currently, the need to replace some of our aging vehicles is imminent. And so we're trying to work to build our coffers there to be able to start replacing some of these aging vehicles. As far as how the current budget is working for us, like I said, we continue to fundraise to kind of close that gap, to make sure that we're not going in the red each year through all the fundraising that I provided there for you. So that any kind of increase for over what we got last year will kind of help us to be able to start replacing some of these vehicles and to maintain our headquarters. The benefit to the taxpayers, we are your primary cave rescue team for Hamilton County. There's 81 known caves in the county, so we are the pretty much lone resource for you when it comes to cave rescue. We also provide that service to all of our tri-state mutual aid partners and to the greater tri-state area. We are working towards, another benefit is we're working towards making sure that we align with the fire services when it comes to technical rescue and rope rescue. And so we are currently working to make sure that all of our members are NFPA 10.06 technicians and operators, with the goal of them eventually being able to get state certified in that under TFACM. Aside from that, we are one of only 5 MRA accredited teams on the East Coast. And so We are accredited in all three disciplines, rock, ice, and search. And so we're able to provide those services to our mutual aid partners. And that's all I've got for you guys unless you have questions.
So 248 is your request.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions from the dais? See no questions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, gentlemen. Chris Morrison, Chief of Sequoyah Volunteer Fire Department. Our budget this year, as you can see, is a little substantial, but it's actually two-part. So we can start with the operational side of it, which would be around 163,500. And the reason for the increase on that is we are spinning up our medical division. So call volume is going to increase substantially. Wear and tear on the trucks, maintenance, and also equipment, not just medical, but fire as well. Also trying to furnish these guys with newer, updated turnout gear. A lot of our turnout gear is hitting its 10-year mark. So we're looking to start slowly replacing that. Is there any questions on the operational side of it? Just trying to keep it brief.
Nope. See, no questions. So your request is 5,463,500.
Correct. So the 5.3, and keep in mind, I'm not a construction estimator. This is the best I could do, just myself. That is for a new station. The existing station that we have is a 40-foot by 80-foot, 3-bay fire station built in 1985. There are no provisions for any of the firemen to sleep there. We have an extremely small training room. We have extremely small bathrooms. Neither one are gender specific. We only have one shower. The building condition itself is not good.
Okay.
We've had mold issues, roofs leaking, so on and so forth with an old building. I mean, it's been basically Band-Aid fixes throughout the times. So
okay,
we're looking to get something more NFPA compliant, something safer for our firemen, and provisions for them to stay. And not only that, for the community to have an area to go to during severe weather or any sort of incident.
Okay, have a couple of lights, Commissioner Shipley.
The money that we turned over to you from the accident, where is that money?
The money is still there, and obviously we would be putting forth that money into this as well.
I guess my question is, why are we not spending that money on the existing building? We did all the grade work. Everything's done, septic system been moved. But we ain't moved the needle in a year and a half. It's time that we do something there.
Yes. I just recently took over as chief.
I know
So that's something I've also been looking into.
I'm gonna put you on my list with Wormy and Hazmat. I'm gonna come up and look at that building and see what we can do.
Yes, sir.
Generate a better building with the money you got.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Highlander.
Thank you, sir. Chief, how many volunteers do you have? How many people do you have on your staff?
22.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know what size it was compared to some of the others. Thanks, sir.
Okay, see no more lights. Thank you for your presentation.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm Scott Pierce. I'm representing the Board of Directors for Walden's Ridge Emergency Services, and we are not asking for an increase this year. Our appropriation last year was $199,000, and we would like the same amount if possible. I am here representing Chief Hillis and our board of directors. Just as a note, Res celebrates its 50th anniversary this year, and you're all invited to a celebration in May, and I hope you can attend. I would say for Res, our finances are pretty straightforward. We have a total budget of $305,000. We get $85,000 from the town of Walden typically. And with this 200,000, there's still a deficit, and we do fundraising to make up that gap. And the community's been very generous to help us do that in previous years. Our expenses are fairly simple. Our largest expense is $85,000, and that's debt service on our fire engines. We bought those about 10 years ago, and we're slowly working that debt down. Our second largest expense is probably similar to all the other departments, and that's insurance, insuring all of our equipment and our volunteers to make sure that they're covered in case of a bad outcome. Our utilities are pretty predictable, about $60,000 a year to operate both stations. The big wild card that we have is vehicle maintenance. Things break down, it's hard to predict that, but we're budgeted at about $30,000, and we hope that's enough. As these vehicles age, getting parts is harder and harder and can be more and more expensive, but we would appreciate the same appropriation that we got last year.
Okay, Commissioner Baker.
Well, Scott, thank you for coming in at the same budget. But more importantly, I don't know if you all know this, but I mean, Scott's one of the top people, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Tennessee, and he volunteers his time. And you can see he's a numbers guy. And I just like to say, Scott, you know, as busy as you are, I appreciate so much, and so does our community appreciate your volunteerism. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay, see no other lights. Scott, thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Chief?
That's it, with the exception of the three that couldn't be here, and I would assume that this is the busy time for them, and daytime's low staffing, so that's probably why they're not here.
Okay. All right. If you'd have each one of those three chiefs to reach out to me, I'd like to have a conversation about it.
I'll do it.
Okay.
All right.
Because some sends their board and so forth. So if they want this board to properly fund them to the best ability, they need to come in front of the board. So
understood.
These guys did. So,
yes, sir.
All right. So thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
All right. A couple of things real quick. Scott, you ready? Scott. Chris. I don't want to call you Scott.
The other Scott.
The other Scott. Scott was just up here. Chris is going to update you on some changes that we just need to make sure, as far as volunteer fire departments, you're ready for the next year. So Chris.
Yeah, you know, for many years, the audit department has provided financial services to volunteer fire departments and the STARS Rescue, except for volunteer community. But those services include entering transactions into QuickBooks for at least two full volunteer departments. Performing bank recons, preparing the IRS Form 990s, preparing state in Tennessee annual financial reports, questions and corrections of payroll issues, maintaining fixed asset lists, preparing adjustment journal entries, reviewing transactions for proper classifications, reviewing invoices, verifying deposits, reviewing board minutes to make sure they're in line with the financials, and preparing financial statements. So, based on audit committee recommendations, our department should not be performing these services. Our office function is to review the department's financial statements, internal controls, and to ensure that the taxpayers' dollars are being used for that purpose, and to make recommendations for improvements. So by giving up, we're willing to give up a position in our department. We're requesting that the county use those funds to provide a third-party bookkeeping service that will work with each of the volunteer fire departments to ensure consistency across all of the volunteer fire departments. And then the audit department will continue to review and the internal controls and make recommendations. But those services that we were just mentioned above would be transferred to help the volunteer fire departments in their day-to-day transaction financial activities.
Okay, is there any questions from the DS up here? On that change, I think we got notified of it, I guess, last night, or was it this morning? So,
It was last week or something that
Yeah.
we sent out.
I guess it was last week.
Yeah.
That's the reason I called you Scott.
Yes.
It's,
Yeah.
it's been one of those days. But no, no, I appreciate you bringing it up and clarifying it. So, Commissioner Baker.
Thank you. Chris, so as a member of the audit committee, and I know there were some inconsistencies, this will help us be smooth across the board.
Yes, you know, I hope that with a standard third party helping doing their day-to-day activities, well, monthly, because we do it and we spend 1,000 estimated 1,300 hours of our staff doing that each year. And so with that, I think that it would benefit the departments to have someone they can contact that is not related to the county that they can rely on for financial information. And then we can come in and do it more like an independent review of a 501c3 organization that receives money from.
But the point is, I mean, this should make it easier.
Mhm.
And make everything more consistent and make it easier for the volunteer fire departments to focus on what they do best instead of having to juggle all the things. At least it'd be one less thing to juggle.
Mhm.
And that would get us in line with what we need as a county for accounting purposes.
For accounting, to get that separation.
Okay. Sounds like a good deal to me. Thank you for doing that.
So this idea came out of the audit committee?
It came out of some findings in the audit committee. There were some issues, across some of the departments. I mean, the reality is, I mean, we've got great volunteers doing great work, and sometimes, maybe bookkeeping isn't their forte. So, this will help them focus on what they do best, which is saving lives and saving our community. So I think it sounds like a great deal.
Good deal. I don't see any more lights. I just want to appreciate Commissioner Baker, you and Chris, because you guys several months ago came together. We created the Citizens Audit Committee, and this is some of the good things that's coming out of it. So thank you thank you, Chris, for what you're doing, you and your team. And Chip. So.
I'd equally like to thank you because it was your idea. And I will say this, I sit on a, not only is he a forensic CPA, but there are 4 others. Are you forensic?
Certified fraud examiner.
Okay. So, I mean, I learned a ton through this process. You all ought to come to our meetings sometimes because it's really, I mean, I'm an operations person and I'm not an accountant. I'm not a forensic CPA. And I learned a ton in these meetings about just best practices. So thank you, Chris. And our attorney, Varnell.
Madam Attorney, great job. Chris, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So Chief, that ends the emergency services. Fire chiefs, if you have questions about that, please reach out to your commissioner or to Chris. Chris McCullough will kind of walk you through what those changes will look like for next year. And because it may not impact you to a great degree, but it's a resource that'll be there. So for you. Any other questions from up here? Sheila, thank you. You're awesome. Appreciate it. We'll begin our regular county meeting in about 10 minutes. So thank you.